So let's say it's time for you to go out and buy a pair of carburetors for your awesome tunnel ram setup. You know, one like this. But you're having a heck of a time finding a matched pair of 650 double pumpers. So you decide, you know what? Maybe I can save up some money and buy 2 brand new carburetors. You won't want to miss this video. Here's why you don't want to buy new from Holley. Howdy everybody, Jet Scott here with Scott Speed Shop as always. Thank you for tuning in. And today, we're looking at the new old stock Mopar W2 tunnel ram for my W2 340 we are building for my 70 Duster. Alrighty, so here's Jet from the future. I forgot to mention this because I had to refilm this video a couple different times between sirens and neighbors and all that stuff. Just want to go ahead and throw this out there. The reason why we're talking about buying brand new carburetors instead of original stuff is because it's hard to find good used original carburetors anymore. The price of cores is through the roof. I used to be able to buy double pumper cores or mechanical secondary cores for about $100. Now I'm looking at $200 to $250 for a core. There's no meat left on the bone. And you know why price of originals have gone up? This problem. So let's just go ahead and get right into this. This looks really pretty, doesn't it? Those are 2 brand new Street HP 650s I bought from Jegs. Thank you again, Rob. Always the greatest parts man known in existence. Next to me. Only matched in sales repertoire to me. So, from this viewpoint, these carburetors look pretty fantastic, don't they? And for $606 list price, you can't hardly beat them because they are shiny, they're beautiful, they look great. Until you really start to look close. There's the box. There's the other box. I bought those brand new. I got them about a week ago, I think. And it's what I'm about to do to Holley and everybody else. I'm sorry, but you know what? Holley, I gave you a chance. I talked to 2 of your guys, and they both have told me I'm on my own. It's up to Jegs to solve the problem. And in my opinion, there's nothing Jegs can do to solve this problem. And let's get right into it. Alrighty, so let's get right into this. So let's first set up the mind basis here. So you're a normal average working Joe. $600 doesn't exactly grow on trees, especially when you get to start paying tax and shipping and everything else. You know, this carburetor get real expensive depending on what your tax rate is. Say if it's 10%, that's 60 extra bucks. And if you got to pay for shipping, which most of the big companies, they don't, on $100 or more. So you're still looking at $666 for a brand new carburetor. Sorry, Jesus, but you know, so you say you save up, you get this thing, and you're really proud of your purchase because it's your first true brand new Holley carburetor. You didn't buy a brawler, you didn't buy a demon. You bought a real Holley carburetor. And with that comes a certain level of standards. At least to me. I work on Holley carburetors for a living. I tune them. I rebuild them. I work on them. I know them. So you open it up. You always get this same little foam crap for shipping. And you unbox it. And now you got to keep in the mindset, I'm just the same as anybody else. I was stoked to get my first brand new set of Holley carburetors. And Holley, I don't even know why you include this thing. It's always broke. Invest in something better, please. So, first thoughts out of the box is this thing is beautiful. It's shiny. I don't really care for shiny carburetors. I prefer the old zinc dichromate finish or even the new hardcore gray stuff. So, like I said, first impressions is this thing is really beautiful. The zinc plating is really nice. It's got a nice shiny finish. The pictures, actually on Jegs and Summit, both show this with down leg boosters that are plated. It shows up with unplated straight leg boosters. You get a Holley's website, they're plated straight legs. So that's the first little indication there that, ain't a real fan of that. And you can actually see, like, polishing compound still left in these recesses. Now, When I see an HP style carburetor, I expect a certain level of care. This is not a cheap carburetor, but Holley thinks it is. They call this a budget line carburetor. It's pretty sad when, wow, that's new. And when my brother's Brawlers are nicer out of the box. That had a bunch of goo coming out of it. Wow, look at that. That's new. I didn't even notice that. Oh, there's another thing. So let's get straight into everything about this carburetor, why you should avoid Holley until they get their heads out of their butts and really start thinking about upgrading their quality. So first things first, what I just noticed. There was a little bit of stuff coming out of that, but look at that. I don't even know what the heck that is. Now here's where the real issues start to come in. Look at the quality of that casting. Look at that. That's actual casting flash. And then you have all that going on. And I know this is purely cosmetic stuff, but you know, you don't see any of this on the website. You know what? We'll just glance over all of that. I want you to just look at the casting inside of this main body. Now, this is supposed to be a performance carburetor. Those are BBs left over from casting. Fingernail legitimately catches on all that. And just look at all of that porosity. Do you think Holley wants that shown on their website? No, because the carburetor they use on their website is hand-picked. It's the most beautiful one out of probably 1,000. And it doesn't get any better on this side. You know, also keep in mind, you just spent $600 on this thing, and this is what you receive. Yeah, it may function right, but I sure as hell ain't happy with it. This is unacceptable to me. And this is just the cosmetic stuff. This doesn't even get into the real stuff. And so now we come full circle. Carburetors are on the tunnel ram. I got to run a 1/4 inch spacer because, well, this linkage here still don't clear nothing. And you don't want to go cutting that off until you are fully satisfied. And I will say, yeah, what if you just got one carburetor that was like this and you got a bad one? Well, so there's the one we've been looking at. Here's the other one. Does that look okay to you guys? Are you going to be happy spending your hard-earned $600 on this kind of crap? Are you okay with that? I'm not. Some of you may not care. But for my hard-earned dollars, I expect a whole lot more. And here's another gripe, Holley. I mentioned this to a couple of your techs. We'll see if this stuff actually makes it to you. This is the front of the tunnel ramp. Now, on a Chrysler or Chevy, the linkage has to go this direction. Why are the float sights on the passenger side of the carburetor? Once this is in a car, you will never be able to see your float sights. And yes, these are the nicer glass float sights that are set in, but you can't see them. Why wouldn't, I mean, if you're only going to put them on one side, put them on the driver's side. So that way you can actually see your float sights, because you can't see them at all. Unless you turn the carburetor around backwards and you do a bunch of crazy linkage, which is completely unnecessary. So as you've seen now, both carburetors are in the same cosmetic condition. Casting flash, all that nasty. And yeah, they will function. And they will do what they're supposed to. They're going to mix fuel and air, and they're going to make a car go vroom. Now let's talk about the real mechanical issues. So when I first pulled these things out of the box, I set them on my tunnel ram. That's the first thing I wanted to see. I wanted to get a glimpse of what this is going to look like, because I love the HP body. I love Holley carburetors, and nothing looks cooler than that right there. However, you hear that? This carburetor is warped. And I'm not kidding. It's warped. That past quality control. Now you may be thinking, oh, Jed, it's probably just your tunnel ram. It's probably just your tunnel ram, you know. And, I mean, you know what? We'll just do this. We'll take my phenolic spacer off the back. we'll take this carburetor. This is the B carburetor in the back. And we're going to set her on. Same thing. Tell me that's okay. Both carburetors wobbling. And you want to know what? You want proof? You want proof that it's not the tunnel ram? Okay. All right, this is for you specifically, Holley. These are my grandpa's Matoyo calipers. You will not find a straighter edge than these. Not a single bit of airspace between that. And then we'll come to the back side. And I have already measured this both directions. Not even a teeny weeny bit. So it's not the tunnel ram. So what does that leave us with? That has left us with carburetor. Nothing, 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 nothing. Air gap. Focus on that. And yes, the gasket will take up that much space. It's just the fact that passed quality control. In the same gap. You know, I legitimately called 2 separate Holley techs. First one actually turned to be a local Mopar guy. Super cool guy. But basically, I got told I'm on my own. And this is up to Jegs to fix this problem. Jegs didn't make the carburetors. They only sold them. It's not their responsibility to take the hit financially. But Holley's such a big company, they don't care. People, open your eyes. Look at Holley. Look at all the companies they are grabbing up. And tell me they aren't a monopoly. Tell me they're not becoming a monopoly. But you know what the problem is? People are so stuck on this made in America stuff. And I'm an American. I love my country. Born and raised here. But people do not want to see anything happen to our American-made products. Well, you know what the problem is? Is when we allow that kind of garbage to come out of the marketplace for people's hard-earned money. I've had people check. These are actually made here in the States. But this is the kind of quality control that should not be allowed to leave. You spend your $600 and you get that. Or you're me and you spend $1,200 and you get these 2 carburetors. Is not acceptable. And you want to know something? This is a good old cheap. This was literally Holley's cheapest carburetor they used to make. A 2-barrel 350. And look at that. It's dirty. It's been beaten. You don't see a whole lot going on in there. It ain't perfect. But I mean, this is a freaking 40-year-old 2-barrel that is junk. It's parts carburetor. And it's got a nicer casting than their brand new stuff. Just cut me some slack here. So I have to make this. I have to make this. Guys, know what you're buying. And yeah, most of it's cosmetic, but it's the fact it comes out of the box with a warped base. Tell me that's okay. Alrighty guys, so I just got to throw this in here. I kind of forgot to mention it. Here's something to think about. If Holley's willing to allow this kind of casting quality and warped bases get through QC, who's to say that isn't going somewhere else in this carburetor? Just think about it. Let's get the ball rolling. Let's get made in America to mean something again. Not just be I'd rather buy American than Chinese or Japanese or Taiwan or whatever else just because I want to support Americans. It needs to be, I want to buy American because I want American pride in my products, not stuff that's just thrown out the door just so it can have that Made in America badge. We need quality products. There we go. So that's over. This was painful to make. I'm a Holley guy. I've always been a Holley enthusiast. I love their carburetors. If you want to go fast, there is no better carburetor, especially for tunability and everything else. You can get more gas mileage out of a Holley carburetor. You can get more performance out of a Holley carburetor than any other brand. But this cannot stand. This kind of quality just cannot happen. So, guys, please share this video. Let's get this stuff out there. We're probably going to get some hate. We're going to get some trolls. But someone has got to say something. Because I don't want to see one of my customers or one of my friends spend their hard-earned money and get that and not be happy. That's not okay. So, thanks for watching this, guys. I'll see you later.